Hey guys, today I decided to do something a little different. A few days ago, Disney released their trailer for the Haunted Mansion movie, and in case you haven't noticed, me and my son are big Haunted Mansion nerds, so we decided to do a reaction video on the trailer. So if you don't mind watching a couple of Disney nerds pick apart a video, then this is for you because we are going to examine this in every little detail.
All right, let's take a look. We're going to click over here and...
Welcome home. I know this place is...
Stop it real quick. Does it almost look like maybe a hearse that she's driving?
It looks like a U-Haul to me.
Oh, is that maybe what it is? A U-Haul?
Yeah. Well, and then the next is Welcome Home. So they're moving into the mansion.
Yeah.
And we can see it's a fairly modern...
It just had that kind of look to it, like a hearse.
It might be stylistic.
I know this place isn't as...
So that door is incredibly close.
It is right on to the Haunted Mansion.
But
you got the little... actually... Now, the actual door has what looks like a lion, but here they seem to have replaced it with what appears to me to be a werewolf's face.
I think it could go either way. It's a little ambiguous.
But the door is perfection.
The door is... It's a great opening.
As I'd hoped.
So this is Constance.
We think that's going to be Constance, yeah.
It
appears to be a bride. Mm-hmm. And with the lace overhead. So I think what's interesting is there, when you look at her here, she's got the single thread of pearls on her there.
Now, actually, though, what I was really wanting to look at with this is I wanted to look at the kids' clothing, because this is interesting. For whatever reason, he's dressed in
very
this,
formally.
Very formal, but
with a bow tie,
dated style, and it's an interesting choice. I don't know exactly
Indiana Jones style.
Yeah, a little bit, and I'm interested to see where they're going with that, because the mother is wearing fairly contemporary clothing.
But I'm going to light a vanilla candle, and it's going to be a game changer.
I know what a vanilla candle is.
Go back to...
Okay. I like that.
That kid's, I think, perfect. He has got that fear look down to a science.
Oh, he's gonna be good. I can tell.
Yeah,
I like this CG. It's a little hard to tell any details on her, but she's definitely drawing not so much from the Constance, but this seems to be more of a visual reference to the original bride.
Oh, let me see. So when I look at it, she almost appears a little bit skeletal there. The face doesn't look fully fleshed out. You can almost see the collarbones and the sternum there with the neck bones. It just doesn't appear to be a fleshed out creature. It's very horrifying. And one of our big worries was that, like the previous Haunted Mansion, they were going to make this movie very humorous, and we wanted to see a little bit more terror. Yeah.
So looking over into other brides, we've got right here this is a rendition of the 1969 bride. This is the Beating Heart Bride. This is a rendition based off of a very grainy old film reel of the attraction. Okay. So a little bit better to draw a comparison to would be this later iteration of the bride.
Now, see, that one has the skull kind of look.
Yeah. So, and these are similar iterations of the bride.
I remember the dark mannequin bride.
And you can look, if we look over here on her, she's got the very dark face.
And the glowing eyes.
Glowing eyes.
Okay.
She doesn't have the illuminated heart. And that might be an axe in her hand. Okay. It's kind of hard to tell. It's shadowy. So it is a fusion bride, I suppose you could say.
Okay.
Because the portrait was Constance.
Mm-hmm.
We're out.
Right. And
let's go back to the night.
The night
Okay, go ahead.
he is definitely a reference to the knight in the mansion. He isn't the knight in the mansion because, of course, the knight in the mansion has the bird beak.
Yeah.
And this, he doesn't have the skirt, but he has a little bit more of a skirt than this guy does.
But the shield is very similar, and of course the pike, the axe/pike. Look behind him.
This is the
Can
April
you pull
December.
it up on? Yeah. Can you pull that up on the screen there?
So April December was a very old painting that first started in the mansion, and these are all various. You've got fan renditions. She was a popular painting. She ended up getting displaced in order to add in the Master Gracie painting, and it's the young woman that ages to an old hag over the course of a year.
Now, do you think in the movie, like every time we see that picture, she'll get older?
Now, that would be a very clever thing for Disney to do. I don't know if Disney's gonna do that, but it would be very clever indeed for them to do. But this has always been a fan favorite painting, and they've recently brought it back to the mansion. So it's cool to see it getting representation.
Yeah.
This mansion is
Okay. Now here we are really trying to figure out what was Owen Wilson?
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Owen Wilson. What part he plays in this, and the reason why is that who is he? Is he one of the ghosts? Is he not one of the ghosts? If he's one of the ghosts, who is he? Who do you think we thought that maybe he was Ezra?
Yeah, I'm thinking if he's a hitchhiking ghost, because that was a theory that we were floating. If he's a hitchhiking ghost, it would make sense for him to be Ezra. He's kind of got the tall, thin vibe.
Yeah, and the hat. And we know he's not the Hatbox Ghost, so we're thinking maybe Ezra. Although he goes by a different name on the IMDb. What was the name on the IMDb?
We'll pull up the Haunted Mansion. So he's listed as Kent. Now, some of these people are just straight up unlisted. We don't have a listing for anyone playing Constance.
Okay. Winona Ryder's in it. Who? Winona Ryder's in it.
Oh, she might be Constance. She's unlisted as.
Well, no, wasn't Constance the other one?
No one's listed.
Oh, okay. Nobody's listed as Constance. Caesar Ghost.
Caesar Ghost.
So they're keeping it kind of.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to keep
close
it a little
to the chest there on some of these.
Mm-hmm. What we do know is that Jared Leto is the Hatbox Ghost, because no matter how many times the movies that you put Jared Leto in fail, somehow someone will always make the choice to cast him again.
Yeah. Okay, so
this mansion is unhinged.
Okay, so here we go. And now when we first watched this trailer, we could see definitely in the back there, the Hatbox Ghost there just has the feel of Jared Leto. Somehow in the way that he's standing and walking. I don't know why, because I don't even watch a lot of Jared Leto stuff.
But it's Jared Leto.
But it definitely looks. And then we don't know who this guy is going to be right over here. But
he seems to be. He'll show up again a couple times.
We're looking at a hallway, but it's not the endless hallway.
I think, though, this might be the hallway that becomes the endless hallway. Because later on we see a shot of someone running down the endless hallway, and it looks very similar to this architecture.
Point out the busts there.
Yeah. Well, actually, I wanted to start by pointing out the candelabra, which makes me think this is the endless hallway.
Oh,
it's the three
it's the three candles.
Yeah.
Right there.
Now, this bust is very ambiguous.
It doesn't look like
this bust is a lot closer. This one over here.
Yeah.
Here, hold on. We're gonna. Over there, we've got our busts, and they do follow you, and it looks very much like the female bust.
It does kind of look like the female bust.
It's got the same kind of hairstyle. Okay. So I think that might be the distinctive two busts.
Okay.
And you can see they're kind of tilted towards the guy walking.
Okay, so now we're in the dining room.
It's got the correct wallpaper and super high wainscoting. Note, though, that it doesn't have the... In the ride, there would be a staircase and a balcony that sits right there.
Okay. Yeah. Although we're not seeing higher
But
up,
the staircase would start about here. So if we look at... Yes, so in the Haunted Mansion, the ballroom... I'm still looking for other pictures to help illustrate this. The ballroom, you can see here... This is the table. So this is where they would be standing right in front of. They'd be standing about here-ish. Staircase would be right behind them with the balcony. The windows in the ballroom are much higher up, and they're only really on the second floor of the ball. No, technically, you have to think of the ballroom as a birthday cake, right?
Yeah.
It's got 3 layers. The ground floor, we're seeing here. The second floor is at eye level. Nothing happens at eye level because that's where the viewer has to stand. So Pepper's Ghost doesn't work like that.
Okay.
And above it is the 3rd floor of the ballroom. The 3rd floor is where the windows are, because that's where the window ghosts are.
Okay.
So this is more of like a spiritual interpretation of how the ballroom feels to look at.
Okay.
Is also a lot less visually cluttered, so it works. It makes sense. It's just not like correct.
Okay. All right.
And this is some interesting candelabra design.
Various
here.
different, yeah.
They seem to be different. Each
one of them.
She needs all.
Alrighty. So, Madame Leota? No, this
No.
is not Madame Leota.
Because Madame Leota is listed. She's listed on the IMDb, and Madame Leota is going to be Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
She could be a voodoo priestess.
Okay.
I believe this is Tiffany Haddish's character, Harriet. Is that?
Harriet.
Yes, Harriet.
Okay.
So I think that's a new character. I think that she's coming
All
in.
right. What else in
It
there?
looks like she's probably
The
going to be...
sconces are strange.
Yeah, this area is...
Okay, so this is not probably the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, this isn't in the mansion. See, there's the light switch on the wall.
Oh.
This is outside of the mansion.
Okay.
All the help you can get.
What'd you do?
I went to pause it at the same time.
All right.
Danny DeVito is in it.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Going to be
Going to be
Gus?
college history professor.
the colleges.
He doesn't have a name listed.
It's Gus.
But yeah, I'm thinking he's Gus. He's
Gus. He's gotta be Gus.
short and he doesn't have the beard.
And this, that's true. But this is, the fact that I think that he's Gus lends me to believe that maybe the ghosts are taking human form to help out the woman and her child. Do we have a name on the woman? I don't know. It was already
Gabby.
Dawson. Oh, Gabby. Okay, that's her name.
Gabby, and the kid
kids
is Travis.
Oh, Travis. Okay, Gabby and Travis.
So this looks like it's happening in the far side of the ballroom. This would be the door that the ghost should be streaming into.
Okay.
Just behind him would be the rocking chair where the old lady sits. This is the fireplace, which in the right I think is green. And above the fireplace would be another bust.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. You want to be.
Okay. So, this is not again in the Haunted Mansion here.
a hero.
Yeah. And it also tells us that Owen Wilson, I forgot his name for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Owen Wilson's character is playing a Catholic priest.
So, probably not a ghost because
Possibly not,
he's
yeah.
not in the mansion.
He's not in the mansion, and he's also a Catholic priest.
All right. Well, there you go. So much for that theory.
But we also could be wrong. Because the hitchhiking ghosts are hitchhikers, so they may be able to travel.
Okay. That's kind of that's a good point. Okay, so here's our protagonist here who's looking into a window.
Yeah, I think this might be...
Is this guy down here at the bottom? This Christopher Winchester, a
It
bartender?
might be. It's kind of hard to tell.
It's hard to say.
But he's
is
got
it
the beard.
Keith Stanfield,
Yeah, they both got beards.
Ben Mathias.
Yeah, it's just kind of a grainy...
Okay.
That's probably more like... Oh, you have to...
Yeah. And there's Constance. That is definitely Constance.
Yes, it's got the... She's got the beaded necklace and...
Now I pointed out earlier one string of beads on that one vision, but now this one has multiple.
Well, the
strings
painting
of
had one string of beads, but the vision didn't... You couldn't tell.
Okay.
But notice the veil is very different between these two.
That's true.
The veil in the vision came down in front of her, and as did in the painting.
Okay.
This one comes off to the side.
This one has the glowing eyes like the previous one, the skeletal looking one.
And kind of a bob haircut going on here.
Oh, okay, yeah. So plenty of like jump scare kind of things here going on here. Now we're back to I think that same scene between these two men. Okay.
Pass. $2,000.
What's the address?
Alright, now here we go. This is, look at the wallpaper.
That is very close to Demon Eye.
Demon Eye wallpaper. It looks very similar to it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we got wall sconces that, they like the wall sconces in there? I don't think so. But the candelabras are like, it's again the 3 candelabras going on there. And then the guy in the photo there, or the portrait, okay, got a pig with the hatchet.
Now the pig is a weird choice. I don't know where the pig is coming from because there's not really
a pig in the. Is there a pig in the animal graveyard?
No, I don't believe so. There might be.
Let's look it up.
Okay, I'll mention.
Yeah, well, but yeah, we were puzzling over the pig as to whether that had any sort of
So the
significance.
Cemetery. You know what? I think it does. I think there's a pig named Rosie. Rosie the pig. Oh, I hate Fandom Wiki because it just spams me.
Oh.
Rosie the pig. She was a poor little pig, but she bought the farm.
1849. Okay, so maybe that's Rosie.
So yeah, that might be a Rosie reference.
Are we clicked on this one now?
Yes.
Okay. So here he goes.
Disney invites you.
Guys! Little help?
There.
Just saw it.
So now the portrait, has the portrait been getting bigger, or are we seeing it from a closer vantage point each time?
I think we're getting closer each time.
Okay.
Because notice the sconces are also bigger.
Okay, yeah, and so they're not sconces, they're actual.
Oh,
I thought they were sconces,
those were candelabras.
but those are actually the 3 candelabras.
It's an interesting decorating choice.
Yeah.
It's the candelabra shelf. Every house has to have a candelabra shelf. Now that is the Hatchet Man.
So now, yeah.
Or the Ghost Host painting.
So, yeah, definitely.
The stance isn't really right, but the eye position absolutely is.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I wish we could.
You can see the big eye and the squinty eye.
You put bring them in and put them on top of each other there or next to each other.
Yeah.
Shrink the window down. There you go. Okay, so now we can definitely see the face looks super similar. It's not
The
quite
wispy,
as long jawed, but the eye, the wispy hair.
Now the jacket is the clothes is different.
But he's got the vest.
This has got me. It's very curious to me because of course he is dressed to resemble the Hanging Man, and this is actually how the skeleton of the Hanging Man is dressed. If you compare.
Yeah.
He's also brandishing this. And in the painting, he doesn't brandish it, he holds it. And it's very clear that he's just cut himself down. He doesn't have he's not hanging.
Yeah. We don't have that. Although we don't know what the next... Well, actually, no. The portrait definitely looks as if he is cutting into
he's
pig.
about to cut the head off of the pig.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's
Poor Rosie.
Different. Yeah, poor Rosie. Well, I mean, she's already cooked. She's not gonna suffer. Anyway, it's different, and I think it's designed to be more threatening. Is what it's really designed to do.
This house has a way of playing tricks on you.
So I missed that the first couple of times. So he freaks out because the remote control
This house
flies
has
out
a
of
way
his
of playing
hand.
tricks on you.
Because I thought it was something on the TV. But no, it's okay. And then Danny DeVito laughing.
Now I can't tell where that is, but it looks like it might be a library. If you look, these are reading desks, globes, and maybe bookshelves behind him.
Okay.
Okay, this is This is the
Arguably
stretching
one of the
room.
coolest things. Oh, that's the stretching room.
Yeah,
because
so
there's
we've
the
got
gargoyles.
The gargoyles and no windows and no
and no
doors.
doors. So the windows disappear.
So there's a bunch of furniture in here, which is interesting. So of course in the ride, the stretching room doesn't have furniture.
Yeah.
But it was going to.
Oh,
There
really?
was, in the original plans, they were going to put not a lot of furniture, and it ended up getting removed because it just kind of got in the way.
Okay.
The plans went through. It didn't ever go through. But there were plans to put like bookshelves and a couple things in. So it seems to be fulfilling the
On you.
purpose of the parlor.
Oh,
That
yeah, we need to go back.
Looked like it just goes so fast.
There it
we go.
is. Okay, that's the money.
So this appears to be the Hatbox Ghost. Got the really distinctive tall hat and cape, and that's the
this ear.
Hatbox there.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
yeah, he's holding the Hatbox up. He's holding it up, and it's a lantern here, which could be interesting if he got rolled into the role of the groundskeeper. If the ghosts are taking human forms, he might be taking the form of the groundskeeper. In the ride, we see the Hatbox Ghost right before we see the groundskeeper, and they both have that.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
It's a theory. Might not be a good one, but it's a theory. But this is that
Definitely
same.
has box ghost. So the big question is who's the villain? Is it Constance Hashaway, or is it the Hatbox Ghost, or are they both villains in the movie?
So, I'm really hoping it's just Constance, because if we look at the ride, in the ride you have the Hatbox Ghost, and Constance are telling a story together, and basically it's that Constance is victimizing a string of husbands. So, to me, making the Hatbox Ghost into the villain is a weird move. He's the victim. He's the murder victim. His head is in a hatbox because Constance took it off his shoulders, and she took a lot of heads off shoulders. So
Gotcha.
she's a gravedigger, and he's just her latest victim.
Okay.
I don't like... That's not to say that Disney won't make him the villain. Because I know Del Toro wanted to make him the villain.
That's true.
I don't think that's the right call. I hope that isn't the call. It could still be good if it is. It's not like it's going to be a deal breaker. I just hope it's not how they go. Okay, we can go. This is the endless hallway,
And the definitely.
and you can see it's got a very similar architectural style. Now, this looks like it's also the hallway that he was walking down earlier with the portrait.
Yes.
Because these are those same... these
shelves,
here
the
are the
candelabra
candelabra shelves. Every house has to have them. This is interesting, also a deviation from the ride, because in the ride, you go into the endless hallway sort of parlor.
Okay.
Ahead of you is the endless hallway. To the side of you is the corridor of doors with all the Demon Eye wallpaper. And they're distinct, different directions.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting that they rolled into one, but okay.
Okay. We thought this one was cool.
This is so cool.
Okay. So starts out definitely looking kind of like a regular normal guy with dreadlocks, right? Nose, got a nose, no hat. And then all of a sudden, things start to change. Now he becomes kind of skeletal, and his hat is definitely changed. But this is not Jared Leto. So this is not the Hatbox Ghost.
This is probably Phineas. If I was gonna make a guess,
Okay.
Phineas would be the third hitchhiking ghost. He's the overweight. He's got a big carpet bag, and he's got the top hat.
Okay.
So
Do you think maybe the various different people that are there are not starting out as ghosts, but they're turning into ghosts during the story?
it's possible.
So he might be the guy that was in the hallway. I don't know.
Possible.
They both had dreads, right?
I think so.
There's our favorite little protagonist
He's.
there. You know, he reminds me so much of Gary Coleman from Different Strokes.
Do you think this might be a reference to The Sixth Sense?
Oh, I see dead people. He's in a tent.
He's in a tent. It's a safe place inside the house. We can see toys behind him.
Yeah.
I think this is a
That's-
reference to The Sixth Sense. It's great.
That's great. That is a good. Hey, who's that? right down there.
That is
the Black Panther.
because he's a superhero. It's a reference to The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, it is. It totally is.
I love it. It's great. Okay, a little further.
Okay.
All right, this is the
Hatbox
Ghost.
No head.
And
but
his
the head's
hatbox
in the
is very much a
hatbox.
lantern.
And it's a lantern, but it has the head in it.
Yeah.
Okay. And look in the background there. We've got one of the busts.
This is the library. This is the library scene from Walt Disney World. Which is interesting. This is the first I've seen that's like distinctly Walt Disney World.
It's true. That is true. Because in the other one, I heard one of the other commenters say that the other one was really a mishmash of the Disneyland and Disney World's haunted mansions, whereas this one stays true to Disneyland's haunted mansion.
People have said that. I think those people might not be entirely correct.
Okay.
The other movie used a very stylized version.
Okay.
Anyway, so here we've got the
we got
mansion.
the duck chair too.
The duck chair. If we look here, this is very much, it's a side view. So you're seeing kind of
Okay, yeah.
this angle. It's a very short scene. It's not very...
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting one. Keep going.
And
This
Danny
also
DeVito.
looks like it's in the library. You see another one of those recessed busts and more books.
Yep, more books. Same
So again,
same location.
It looks like though this is one of those reading desks from earlier. So it looks like
Okay.
earlier that scene was of the library, and it looks like the library is much expanded from the Walt Disney World Library.
Okay. And then what do you think he's holding there?
That looks like it's an upside down candelabra to me, but
Yeah?
that's a foot
Okay.
there, foot.
Yeah, okay. Somebody's dead.
Well, and all the water, that might be a reference to the Mariner.
Oh, okay. And this right here, you can barely make anything out. Although I see.
This is the stretching room.
Oh,
Stretching
it's
room
just-
portrait,
okay,
stretching room
that's
portrait.
Okay.
Gargoyle. Stretching
All
room.
right.
But this is before it loses.
Oh,
there it
you
goes.
go. Now we can actually see it.
This is the distinctive roof. These are the windows before they get snapped out.
Okay. And you know what? Even off to the side, the door looks very similar to the stretcher room door that's in the Haunted Mansion.
Oh my god.
Is anybody else
Library. And-
seeing this?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
okay.
Oh,
there
yeah,
was a
yeah.
lot that just
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, just like. Okay, so here we are. We're back in here. He's got a different set of superheroes over here. That's
Storm, isn't it?
Storm from the X-Men, and she is next to He-Man. I don't know. I don't know who
think
that
that's
is.
He-Man. I don't know who that is. I don't know who these three. Well, that
There's
looks like
definitely
Storm
Black-
again.
Black Panther is back over there.
Is that Robin? That would make sense, but it's kind of got Robin colors.
Okay, so he's got his bicycle helmet there. He's got his sleeping bag. So nothing really inside of it that's interesting at all.
He's got looks like Hobbs,
Yeah.
and he's got a pig.
Oh.
So there's a couple things. Firstly, what is that movie where the kid starts hallucinating the demonic pig?
Oh, that's Amityville Horror.
That could be an.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's pretty far fetched.
I don't know because we're seeing pigs come up a lot, and pigs in the mansion
Yeah.
don't come up much.
We got a Tyrannosaurus Rex back there.
Ugh, dinosaurs.
So yeah.
Anyway,
Definitely. Okay, here we go.
this is interesting. So, I don't think this is Constance. At first,
We thought it was Constance.
Yeah. You see her, she's descending from the attic. It's like, oh, that's Constance. I don't think this is Constance. I think that this is the tightrope girl. And I'll show you why in a minute.
So it appears that she's coming down out of the attic, but you notice the staircase underneath her is not it looks like maybe the ceiling broke and the various pieces from the ceiling came down to make risers on a staircase, right? And then you've got these rays coming through.
So these rays read to me like seeing the sun above you through water. It's a
Okay.
very aquatic look to this. Not only that, but look at her dress. This isn't near the outfit that we
It
saw
doesn't
Constance.
look much like a
You
bridal
don't
dress.
see the veil at all.
Yeah.
And very few brides want black stripes on their wedding dress.
Mm.
You've also
Yeah,
got these big poofy shoulders, so you can see. So I was thinking about this for a little bit, and the only character that really I can think matches this description is the tightrope walker. So she is positioned above... Oh, this isn't a full... So in her extended portrait, she is above a pool of water and a crocodile. Okay. She's got a big poofy dress with poofy arms and no veil, but she's got a similar kind of a bob haircut, which we have here. I need to pull that back up because I need to send it back to the side.
Okay. Now then, okay, so this is definitely the same scene because there you have the broken ceiling acting as stair risers. Whoever it is wielding an axe, though.
It's true. So that's what kind of confuses me. It really reads like the tightrope walker to me. This is lace, which is usually affiliated with a wedding dress, but not so much in an older dress, though.
So now here's my theory. Why does she look different in each different scene? Why? Because she actually went through many different weddings. Maybe she had many different wedding dresses.
Well, we know that Constance's whole thing was materialism and trying... That could be true as well. I still think it might... I think it's the tightrope walker still. I just...
Okay. Well.
I could be wrong.
Oh, this is one of our favorite parts.
So, I love this. This is a really cool interpretation of the demon clock.
Yep.
Which, if we take the camera,
and take the camera.
We've got one over there too.
We built one of these
years ago.
Yeah, you were 9.
Mm-hmm. So I love this because it very much feels a lot closer to a real clock. The demon clock it's an amazing looking clock, but this one it looks like a warped version of a clock that you could just barely tell. Oh, hey, there's something up with that. Yeah. So that's very good, and it's got It looks like this is probably pre-possession Demon Eye wallpaper that's behind us here.
Okay, and then the 13 at the top.
13.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So, you know what? That's a flapper, I think.
You think that's a flapper?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see her. She's got... It appears to me that she's got maybe one of those long cigarette holders in her hand, and she's leaning over it. Yeah, she's leaning over it. She's smoking.
And then we've got the organist here, and the pipe organ. I love the attention to detail here. The pipe organ here is this is the Bat music stand that's on the actual pipe organ.
Yeah,
and that's fun. This looks like the dueling portraits to me. It's the wrong wall, but
we also have a ghost off to the far left.
I think that's Caesar.
Oh,
that looks. It's hard to tell, but you don't see any major hair, and Caesar didn't have much. And it looks like that could be a breastplate.
Now, when I first watched this clip, I didn't see any of the ghosts in here except for the organist.
Now, I do think these are the duelists, though.
Okay.
Be careful.
Okay, so now we're looking at a cemetery with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open graves. Of course, one for each one of the protagonists, I guess, would be Gabby, her son Travis. Then you would have Danny DeVito's character. You got the other characters that show, which I'm not even sure who's who. Maybe Harriet is one of them, and then Ben Mathias would be another one of them. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then
that leaves a 6.
Owen Wilson.
Oh yeah. Owen Wilson's character. So that
that's
is probably 6. Each one. Yeah.
But of course, that kind of, I don't know what that means for the theory of
them being ghosts. Although, if they become ghosts as they're in, then maybe each one by one, the graves get buried in.
That could be an interesting. Okay.
Some strange looking butlers there.
Now, I will point out. So, in the ride, the butlers, of course, are wearing the classic green coats. And no, it can't. But anyway,
green coats.
They're wearing the green coats, and the hanging man is in a green suit.
Okay.
So the earlier, when we saw the Hanging Man in his new painting for the movie, he was wearing red, and now these butlers are wearing red. So I think that we're seeing a shift. I think it's just an overall shift in the uniforms.
Okay. Alrighty. Those are the pillars for the Haunted Mansion. This appears to have been in the past when the mansion wasn't run down so much, and that is Madame Leota.
So this is a very different interpretation of Leota than her last human interpretation. And I don't like it. It's
to me it has kind of an Aztec feel.
Yeah, I could see that. Or this was the last one, and this feels very French.
Okay.
It's got kind of the French
Yorick.
spiritualist craze feel to it. And I feel like that fits the way that Leota has always been characterized a little bit better.
Okay.
Because, of course, Leota, in and of herself, she's a reference to the spiritualism craze and the medium craze of the 1800s.
Yeah.
And a lot of that came out of France.
Okay. And so we're looking at her. She's some sort of spiritualist, very ornately decorated. The halo around her head, very reminiscent of the ball she will ultimately be imprisoned in.
And I rather like the spirally swoopy here. It feels a little bit like
her
curly
wispy
hair.
Okay.
So I can see where the design choices come from. I think the other one was better.
Okay, so this is another of that one lady that we're not really quite sure how she fits into the whole thing. Is that like a snake next to her?
It looks like it.
Maybe,
and it looks
some
like
I don't know.
Now this has bookshelves, but it doesn't look like the library room we were in before.
Not so much like the library. Okay, so we don't have any idea.
I don't have any context
on
in this.
Brown every.
Okay, Danny DeVito again. Now it looks like maybe he's talking to the.
That
crystal ball.
doesn't look like he's sitting across from the other lady. It looks like he's talking to Leota.
He's talking to Leota. All right.
Okay, so this is the library we've seen before, and that's Gabby.
There seems to be things flying. Now, is she causing them to fly?
She's either causing them to fly or she's fighting against the wind. There's nowhere in the Haunted Mansion itself that has sort of this kind of a wind experience, but the video game that was released to tie into the Haunted Mansion in
The Xbox video?
the Xbox video game, when they released the movie we don't talk about, that does have a wind puzzle that's set in the Grand Ballroom, which we might be in, because we can see the library, but it's across the double doors. So if this is the Grand Ballroom, and that's the library, and the organ is on this side, then the organist could be creating that windfall in the same way that he was in the video game.
Okay. Okay, more flying objects. This
So
is
I might
Owen
be
Wilson's character.
Because
Yeah.
something up here, and this looks like that first room we were in that has April, December right here behind him.
Okay. The bust off to the left, so that's
bust.
definitely the library.
That's definitely not the male bust that
No.
Disney usually uses.
No, it has a different look, and I'm wondering if it's tied in to the reason why they changed it is it's tied into the looks of a particular actor.
That might be it.
All right, now
Okay.
here we're this Rolls Royce, I think. Right here.
They're driving backwards.
Yeah.
Vader would be proud.
So
He looks possessed. I don't know if that's just a bad
not
freeze.
the kid though.
No, I'm talking about him with
him?
the
Yeah,
rolled
his
up
eyes
eyes.
rolled up.
I don't know if that's a bad pause. but-
Is that perhaps the picture of our hitchhiking ghosts?
I don't want the kid to be the
except-
last one.
No, the kid's not. The kid's not. That's not the kid, is it? Is that the kid? Oh, it is the kid.
Yeah, that's the kid.
Oh, well then never mind. I'm wrong.
I don't want that to be.
Okay.
You might be right, but I don't want you to be right.
No.
I like the kid. He's already won the heart.
Okay, here we go.
Other more
This is the
powerful
attic.
entities
Unfinished
may
Oh, I love this line.
come through.
Not on our watch.
What are you gonna do? Seriously.
They're already dead.
You're gonna be deader.
Okay.
They're gonna be deader.
It's very Owen Wilson.
Very Owen Wilson.
Very Owen
And there he is, looking very much like the Hatchet guy. There.
He is.
My house will always
appearing soon in cinemas.
July, I think, is what they're expecting.
July
it to be.
28th, it looks
Yeah.
like right now,
So.
which is not soon enough for me. Anyway, the only thing that I would say is that I wish it didn't have Jared Leto.
Yeah.
That was a bad choice.
I tell you, I was super skeptical. I'm cautiously optimistic now. I can deal with Leto. He's not one of my favorite actors, but that's not a big problem. DeVito is a favorite of mine.
DeVito,
It's
yeah.
my era, along with Jamie Lee Curtis, my era. So those things fill me with some excitement about it a little bit. Who else is in there? It's like, well, Winona Ryder too. And I don't know how she fits into it all, but that's really interesting to me that she's in it.
I don't recognize very many of these people. I usually
Yeah.
recognize actors that I don't like, not actors I do. I'm excited to see how Chase Dillon does as the kid. I think from what I saw,
the standout.
I think he's kind of gonna steal the show. It
Yeah.
was just
I
he
agree.
has that terrified
yeah, well,
expression down.
yeah, exactly, and he just if he does that well in his delivering his lines, will it though? I mean, it was perfect. Come on, I think he's just really going to be the thing that really makes the whole movie.
I'm really interested to see where they go with Constance.
Yeah.
If we're gonna take cues from other things Disney has done with Constance, in the most recent Constance portrayal, it was the Muppets not Christmas, the Muppets Haunted Mansion, and she was unequivocally the bad guy,
Yeah.
which is a good sign. Not saying that this movie will probably take very many cues from the Muppets, but
Yeah.
it should, because the Muppets was really good.
That
It's
was,
a good Haunted Mansion interpretation.
oh my gosh, I loved it. I just loved it.
I'm really hoping that this is also a really good Haunted Mansion interpretation. I'm hoping that if they can do this one really well, then Disney will turn around and give The Country Bears a really good movie adaptation, because
You
they
like-
dropped the ball there
You
too.
didn't like the Country Bears movie?
Okay, I liked it, but that doesn't mean it was good. Like, I know it's not the best. I still liked it. They could do better. Their recent movies for attractions have been much better than their old movies for attractions. Jungle Cruise was really good. This is probably going to be good.
This is going to be good. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciated it. And I'll be working on some content in the future there. I like to build props. I build lots of different types of props. And many of them have been, for some bizarre reason, Haunted Mansion related. I'm Steve Joseph. This is Stuart Joseph. And we will see you in the future.